channel John Domenico.
We're ready to educate people.
It's about the good, the bad, and the ugly. No bullshit. The real deal.
Welcome to another episode of The Real Deal. I'm Nick.
I'm Naz.
I'm Sam.
And today we have another very special guest.
Hi, I'm Steven.
This close.
Should I redo that?
No, not at all. That was hilarious.
Very casual. Well, welcome, Steven. We appreciate you coming out all the way from Whitby.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
Big flex. Steven was on showings just before he came here. So big agent flex. Big agent flex.
And if
that
you're
a
watching
flex?
our YouTube channel instead of listening on our podcast,
Well, more showings than me and Naz.
the suit that he's wearing right now is on fleek.
That's true.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
he's
you.
suited up. He's suited up. So, somebody ask him a question.
Yeah, Steven, tell us a little bit about yourself, about why you got involved with this industry, how you got into real estate.
So I got into real estate in 2019. I became licensed, but I started as an unlicensed assistant back in early 2016. And I worked various jobs. I was a deal secretary, I did front desk reception, and I learned the back end while I was getting my license. But when I finally did get my license, I came to Intercity, and I did my first deal with the help of Naz.
We need the story.
It's actually true. It's true. He was just telling us.
Naz's only deal for a while.
That was my only deal that year. Yeah. It was.
helping your deal.
It was helping your deal. Yeah, for sure. Tell us. Tell us a little bit about your because when I first came here, you were also working for another department at Intercity, right? You
I was
were
on
working for the marketing team.
Yeah.
So before we get into the story about your first deal, how was your transition from the marketing team to a realtor, and did you find it easier because you already had a background in the business?
I would say it was a little bit easier. The only thing that was difficult was that fear of losing, an hourly rate. But once, I kind of took that leap, I don't know how much choice I had in it, but now I am a full-time agent and I haven't looked back. I really do enjoy doing showings and keeping busy that way. I think it is a better way to spend my time just because there's unlimited income potential with commissions rather than just a steady guaranteed income. I think sometimes we're programmed to rely on a salary and not expect any more.
Psychology.
Yeah.
It's
But
all mindset.
taking that leap to becoming a full-time agent, I think that was the best thing that I've done for my career. It allowed me more time to care for my clients, more time for showings, and a lot less stress trying to balance both too.
Good. That's you made the right decision for sure. I should probably grab this. The biggest sorry Sam for your phone. The biggest challenge realtors face when they're starting out in the business is the fear of commitment, like you said, right? It's being afraid of the unknown. But what people don't understand is the greatest things in life are on the opposite side of fear once you get over it, right? So you did your first deal with a little bit of help from this guy.
From you, yeah.
From this guy. What was that deal like? Because you obviously, you remember it very clearly as you just depicted it
You
right
never
before we
forget your
got
first
on.
deal.
You never forget your first deal. That's true. So what was that like for you?
Well, my first deal was actually within my first week of getting my license.
Huge.
Becoming registered and getting the actual physical license in the mail.
Yeah.
And it was because I had a friend who I told I was getting my real estate license. He said he wanted to buy a house. I said, please wait until I get my license. So he waited a month for me. And then once I got my license, I started showings.
Was his name Travis?
His name is Kyle.
Kyle.
Am I
Who's
allowed to say
Travis?
his
Yeah,
name?
hi Kyle.
Shout out to Kyle.
My man Kyle. Yeah. I remember Kyle.
He's still my client, actually. I've done 3 sales for him now.
Good for you.
Yes.
Good for you.
Thank
See
you.
that?
And
Got the ball
actually,
rolling.
I sold the house that he bought, which was my first deal. So I sold the same house twice.
Nice. Good for you. That's what we like to
I
hear.
when that happens.
We like the return business, right? Sam?
Yes. Refer. Bring it
Yes,
on,
thank you,
bring it on.
Kyle, for that.
Come back.
So it was a stressful deal, the first one, from what I remember.
We did have some rejected offers at first. The market was really competitive then.
Yes.
I think the house that he ended up getting, we had 13 offers on.
Wow.
I was next door at Intercity's office. Naz was at the Fern G team office drinking.
I was trying to recruit Steven.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I helped him.
But in the middle of negotiations, my client, I was having a little bit of a difficult time getting him to come up in price a little bit. We were about to lose the house. So I ran over here next door, grabbed Naz, and he was on the phone with my client Kyle as well, and we ended up getting the deal closed.
So, I hope, Kyle, I hope you made money on the house. I'm
He did.
sorry if I didn't hammer you too hard, but that's that risk that we're just talking about, like to come up in price, the risk that Kyle took, it pays dividends. And I think in general, like even in your career, it doesn't matter if when you take the risk is when you see the reward, right? So good on Kyle. Thanks, Kyle, for being a part of the journey, pal. Appreciate you.
Yeah, he made really good money selling that house.
That's good, Kyle. You want to swing some my way? I appreciate it.
Sharing is caring.
Yeah, for sure.
So just to backtrack a little bit, Steven, was real estate always something you wanted to get into growing up?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
I always had it as like a back thought. My education background is in architecture, but once I graduated, I realized that really wasn't what I wanted to be doing. I didn't want to be confined in an office. I wanted to be out on the road doing showings, meeting people. So architecture just wasn't for me. And then I worked in the travel industry for a bit. My mom was a realtor for 15 years, around there. She's no longer a realtor, but she does invest in property still. But I remember I wanted to get into real estate when I was really young, I believe 18, and there was a little bit of hesitation from my family. They thought, oh, I don't know, you might be a little too young. So I did the college route first, and then I decided after I was tired of the travel industry, I decided, I'll go into real estate. And I took that leap when I was 24.
Okay. So it's been 4 years for you, right? Like the last 4 years?
Yes.
doing it?
Yeah.
Awesome. And what's like stood out to you the most? Like why do you like being in real estate? What keeps you drawn to the industry, I guess?
Just because it's something different every day. I mean, sometimes you show the same house twice, or you sell the same house twice, but a lot of times you're meeting with different people. Every time you get a new listing, you're getting new people calling, asking about it. So it's always something different. It's never the same thing. There is a little bit of a routine, which I like and I'm used to, but like I said, you never know what's going to happen. Tomorrow, something interesting could happen and I can learn something new.
Well, that's the beauty of being in this industry, right? You get to create your own schedule. You get to create your own routine that works for you.
Yeah.
And I think we can relate. I think it's that people aspect that really keeps us going, right?
Yeah, the social aspect.
It's the social aspect for sure. Any other questions, guys, before we lead to our
as young
our favorite
realtors,
one?
like we all are here under 30, we've all faced challenges throughout our career, even though we haven't been in the industry that long. But being, young, is there any sort of challenges you have faced?
At first, yeah. It was a little hard to be taken seriously at first. Also, when I first started, I was completely broke. I used to drive like a 20-year-old Dodge that was all rusted out, and I would take that on showings. But over time, I think that dissipated a little bit. Once you start to gain a little bit more trust in the industry and a little bit more respect, once you start, actually doing transactions and practicing in real estate, you kind of overcome that fear of not being trusted because of your age. But I'd say maybe in my first year that was a little bit more difficult, but I think that also went along with I wasn't very experienced at that time. I was a new agent, so there was some hesitation from some family members, just people in my general sphere of influence. But it wasn't hard to overcome that. I think maybe it only took a year, maybe a year and a half, for people to be more comfortable with the idea of me doing real estate.
Yeah.
So just before we get to the question, kind of a good segue, just what you said made me think of a real good question to ask. A piece of advice, if you had to give one to new realtors.
Or any tips to new realtors.
To new realtors, that are getting in the business.
Don't let anyone discourage you.
Oh.
I like the confidence.
There's going to be some people
Feel
that'll
that.
say, oh, you might be a little young. I don't know if people will trust you. There might be people who say, you don't want to get in that. It's not a stable income. But, don't let that discourage you. Have confidence in yourself. Believe in yourself. If it's something that you really want to do, don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Just focus on what you want to do and get it done.
There it is. That's sound advice.
To add to that,
Is it?
Yeah,
sure
some
we
good
all
advice.
I'm sure we all get a common response like, "Why do you want to get into real estate? Everyone's a real estate agent these days." Blah 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 blah. So really, what makes you different in the industry?
Oh, is this what makes me the real deal?
I guess this is the
I
segue.
guess, yeah, we
This
can,
is
we
it.
can ask
What
you that.
makes
What
you
makes
the
you
real
the
deal?
deal? Yeah.
What makes you the real deal?
Actually, I had a client once tell me that I was the real deal, and he used
Oh.
the same phrase.
I love it.
And his reasoning was he told me his previous realtor took him on a bunch of showings, and she would basically try and sell him anything, even if it wasn't a very good property. She would put a positive spin on it. But he said it was refreshing when I took him on showings because I showed him one property that I didn't think was a very good investment. It was priced near the top of his budget, but it needed about 200 grand worth of work.
Wow.
So I remember telling him, I don't think this is for you. I think we can keep looking. And at that moment, he said, "You're the real deal because you didn't try and push this on me." I think it's that trust that you build with people. I think that's what makes an agent the real deal.
So you have like a client first approach. Your money
Yes.
comes second. That makes you the real
There's
deal.
a lot of agents that are desperate and only
sure.
care about the commission.
For sure.
If you start caring about the client more, then everything will work out.
I actually want to go just before I give you the mic, Sam, because you were going to say something and you don't have the microphone and you need it. Nick said something interesting. Nick said, "Why would you want to be a realtor? Everybody's a realtor." That's what people say to us. And there's a difference, and I want everybody out there to understand this. There's a difference between somebody who works as a real estate agent and somebody whose career is a realtor. And the quality of service you get and the type of person you get. Because anybody can sell, anybody thinks they can sell houses, but not everybody can sell houses. And that's why 10% of the realtors make 90% of the money in the GTA. That's the truth.
It's very
Wow.
true. I always say treat every transaction like it's your own transaction. Doesn't matter. Like put your client's shoes on and wear them, because at the end of the day, it's your name on the line.
facts.
And if they make a shitty move or a bad investment, they're gonna say, "Hey, look, it was Sam who led me in this direction,
Yep.
and it was Sam who took me here." But when you have that mindset that this is my name, this is my transaction, you're likely gonna guide your clients in the right direction. And I always walk in, and if I don't like something, like, "This is garbage," or like I'll say it straight up, because I think my clients need to hear what I'm thinking, right? I see this kind of stuff every single day. So
Yeah, that's
yeah.
how they trust you. You
It's
give
true.
them your honest.
Transparency, like, again, I
That's
say this
something
every
talk
time.
About, yeah. Every podcast
Comes
being
up.
transparent, being honest with your clients. Exactly what you said. You're not just looking at the commission,
Yeah.
right? You want to make sure that any transaction you do with your client, they're 100% satisfied. Because obviously you don't want the fallback to come on you after. But
But, like-
again, open and transparent and honest.
Well, I think there's something to be said for repeat business or
I was
lack
just going
there.
to say, going back to that repeat business,
Yeah.
right? Just
Or
goes
lack
to show
thereof.
the kind of agent you are, that your client can trust you with
Yeah.
several transactions.
If
right?
you're a one and done agent, good luck lasting in this business.
reassess your business model.
Good luck lasting in this industry, because this industry will chew you up and spit you out. Because when the three buyers you're working with are done, you're at square one. You might as well have just gotten your license. It's a tough world out there.
Yeah.
It's tough, right? Motto we live by on the team is I work for your referrals, not your business.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of agents out there should do the same, because a lot of you are slacking, a lot of you are lazy, a lot of you don't do your jobs.
Well, like we say, like, the money's in the follow-up. I think Fern says this every
millions are
single
made in the
meeting, like
follow-up.
Monday meeting. It's millions in the follow-up, and again, that's keeping your sphere of influence always
Mm-hmm.
informed and making sure you're connected with everyone. Following up with people you spoke to years ago, right? Like, I get
Mm-hmm.
calls from people. Like, I was at the bank yesterday, and the lady, like, helping me out was like, you're that girl from Instagram. Like, I see your TikToks, I see your videos. I'm like, this girl works at the bank down the street from my house, and she's like my mom's age, and she's calling me out. I'm like, that's a good thing, right? Like, these are the people who own real estate, and this is the people I need to see my stuff, right? This is the reach that we want.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Again, transparency, keeping your connections, and it can be like anybody, right? Like, anybody can bring you business.
And just to be transparent, for those of you watching, if you want some merch, we have Fern GT merch. We have Real Deal merch too, I think, coming, right?
We're changing the topic
Coming
here from
soon.
Steven
Yeah, I know. I just
to
wanted to-
marketing the
That's
Fern
okay.
G team
Yeah,
over
you
here.
know what? We said transparency.
Steven, there's
and I'm
like low-key
shameless.
hints here.
We actually
Steven.
bribed Steven to come
He's
here
been trying to
with a
recruit you
Real
for
Deal
3
shirt.
years now.
No, I'm kidding.
I will
I'm kidding.
take a shirt. Yeah.
You got to join the team
And,
to
and
get a shirt,
sweater,
Steven.
if you don't mind. I'll take a
You
sweater.
got to join the team to get both.
This is a team.
You got to join the team to get both. We'll give you both. Join the team. Yeah. T-shirts are coming in the mail.
For sure, I'll take a t-shirt.
Anything else?
Any last words for us, Steven?
Anything you want to plug? Anything you want
Anything
to
you're
talk about?
working
Any
on?
listings?
What are your goals for
anything?
2023? Maybe some stuff
Plug
you
something.
have in mind.
Now's the time, man. You never know
Well-
who's listening.
I've always had the same goal, and that's been year-over-year improvement. So my
Ooh.
first year, I would say okay for a first-time agent. It was definitely above the average because I think 66% of agents do one deal or less a year. So year one, I was better than the average, but year two, I wanted to improve. And now year three, year three is coming to an end, but year three, my goal was to improve from the year before as well. So for fourth year, I would say 100%. I want to continue that growth until it's exponential, and as my sphere grows.
That's an interesting way to put your goal, to be better than last year.
I think always be better than the last, right? That's something I live by. I think that's great advice for anyone looking to get anything off the ground. Always do better than your last year, your last day, your last month, because this is your chance, right? You always have that second chance. So yeah, anything you want to do, put your mind to it and go for it.
And set goals.
Yeah.
And try new things, try new marketing ways.
Put yourself out there.
Yeah.
Definitely. Like this today. This is great.
This
having
is
you
new.
on here.
Yeah. My first podcast, I've never done this before.
Awesome.
So
And I love that it's with us.
Me
Couldn't
too.
have found the better team.
Yeah.
podcast.
So many firsts over here, Naz.
Naz
My
is
first
helping me
time
with
meeting
everything.
Steven. Actually, second time meeting Steven.
Yeah, we've
Second
met.
time
We've
we
met.
Christmas party. That was we don't want to relive that one. We're gonna keep that. We're gonna end it there.
The Christmas party was very professional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of fun.
Yeah.
We always
Too
try
much
to
fun.
keep it professional.
Keep it, yeah.
Well, group of agents drinking is always professional. The classiest bunch. Okay, maybe we end it there.
Well,
'Cause,
Steven,
we're gonna bring this too far.
Thank you for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
We'll have all of Steven's info in our description.
If you're looking to buy or sell,
Hashtag sold by Steven.
hashtag sold by Steven. Yes.
But that's after you speak to us first.
Yeah.
Anyways, thanks, Steven.
That's
We
a
really
wrap.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Until next time,
The real deal.
that's the real deal.
That's the real
That's the
deal.
real deal.
Cool.
Yeah.